As the baseball bat crashed into my face, I realized I'd made a terrible mistake. I was just 6 years old, and my mother was helping to coach the local girls softball team. And as they were out on the field practicing their pitching and their batting and their fielding, I was allowed to run around the bases trying to score home runs while they practiced. And I loved scoring those home runs. In fact, the only thing I loved more was the girls' attention. And I would do anything for it. Being 6 years old didn't take much. So one time after running the bases, I came around the back of the diamond to get ready to do it again. And there was a young girl practicing her batting at a tee with one of her coaches standing beside her. So I came up beside her and I said, in my cutest 6-year-old voice, "Excuse me." But she didn't hear me as she nodded at her coach's advice. So I said a little louder, "Excuse me." But she still didn't hear me as she set her stance and prepared to swing. And as she hit that ball, she followed through just like her coach told her to. And that baseball bat came around and crashed into my face. And when it did, there was just a moment of black and then red everywhere as my lifeblood poured out all over the place. I began to scream at the top of my lungs. A man standing nearby saw what happened, tore off his own shirt, rushed over to me and pressed the shirt against my face to try to soak some of the blood up. But there was too much. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, Mr. Toastmaster, I'd like to tell you that that moment of kindness that that man showed me was what I remember most about that day. But it's not. And it wasn't the trip to the hospital, it wasn't getting the muscles stitched back together in my face or the skin stitched closed over top of it. It wasn't even the doctor handing my mother the number of a plastic surgeon and telling her, "You're gonna need this." No, what I remember most about that day is why I got hit in the face in the first place. It's because I was seeking the attention of others. It's because I was after their approval. My friends, far too many of us strike out in life by going after the approval of others. In softball, it's 3 strikes and you're out, and there are 3 ways to get a strike. 1, swing and miss. 2, swing and hit, but hit it in the wrong direction. That's called a foul ball. And 3, stand at that plate and do nothing as the ball comes across it. And if you stand at that plate and do nothing, you'll strike out every time. And so it is in life, going after the approval of others. 1, doing and saying things that aren't authentic to who you are, going after the approval of others. When we behave and speak in ways that aren't true to us, when we swing at life like that, we'll miss every time. Michael Johnson, the world champion runner who took home 13 gold medals, knew that secret. He knew it as a child when all the other children would make fun of the funny way he ran, even as he beat all of them. He knew it going into college when he could only find one coach that didn't tell him he would have to change his running style. And he knew it when he began to compete professionally. And the commentators would say, "Man, this guy could be something special if he would just change the way he runs." But Michael Johnson knew. He knew that he had to run his race his way if he was going to succeed. Because when you do and say things that aren't authentic to you, strike 1! 2, allowing others to tell you what to do and who to be in life, and following that advice, going after their approval. I've had far too many friends let others, family or friends, tell them where to study, what to become, who to be in life. And until they realized what a grave mistake that was, if they ever realized it, they were never truly happy. Some of you may know the haunting tale of Andre Agassi, raised from a child to be a tennis champion and hated every single day of that life. Because when you let others tell you what to do and who to be in life, you let them point your life in the wrong direction. And when you allow others to point your life in the wrong direction and you follow that advice, foul ball! Strike two. Number 3, doing nothing at all. We can be so afraid of what others might say, what they might think, what they might feel about what we do, that we end up doing nothing at all. But when you stand up to bat in life and you don't swing at all, you'll strike out every time. Now, I'm not going to share with you a story of some great person who did nothing at all, because you don't become great by doing nothing. You don't pursue your purpose by doing nothing. You don't get to live your dreams by doing nothing. Because if you step up to bat in life and you don't swing at all, strike 3! You're out. My friends, don't be so concerned with going after the approval of others that you strike out in life. Don't do and say things that aren't authentic to you in search of their approval. That's a swing and a miss. Don't allow others to tell you what to do or who to be in life and follow that advice in search of their approval. That's a foul ball. And whatever you do, do something. Don't be so concerned with what others might say or think or feel about what you do that you do nothing at all. That's a strikeout every single time. So set your stance. Tighten your grip, and swing for the fences, Mr. Test.